All right, well, here we are live with History on the Road today. We are here in DeLand, Florida, with my good friend Erick Kinney. Erick, come here for a second. And our owner of Parachute Labs. And here unpacking a T5 harness that I picked up a few years ago. Erick's going to walk me through it and sit there and see if it's still functional or whatever. So let's take a look at it.
Yeah. So, like, it's overall in good condition, you know. There'd be no reason not to jump it just looking at it, but, you know, it's all in good shape. Nothing's corroded. Everything's still there. It's got some updated components on it, but we'll see what's going on here.
Yeah, when I picked it up, I pulled the jump card out of it. The last time the thing was packed was like in 1965. So
wow,
it was pretty crazy.
Well, I guess we're gonna see how it looks. So no pilot chute in it. That's all right. Drag this out, nice white, all the way down. Yeah, good. Hold there for a second.
Yep.
Yeah. Looks like the rubber bands are probably from 1965 as well. You can take a look at that.
Oh, wow.
Before they start breaking and we pull them out here. You know, some of them's already started to break, but that's all right. Yeah, see, they're already breaking, so it's been packed for a long time.
It's amazing how compact this thing is. And
wow. Yeah, it's in great shape. I'd definitely jump it if it had a pilot chute on it.
now, is that something, since it's so old, that you can still, that your company could actually create and add to it?
Yeah, we'd have to find the right pilot chute that went with this system to make it complete for its era. We can totally do that. We just have to find what that is. It could be the old style MA1, or it might be just a like a kind of like a normal throw out pilot chute style.
So for those maybe not familiar with the parachute world, how would this chute have been deployed in combat?
In combat,
so
probably,
say your main fails, how would
it would have been hand deployed back in those days. They would have had to pull the ripcord, this little guy here, and then either force it out of the container, or if they had a pilot chute installed on it, they would have had to grab it. Once it was open, they'd grab the pilot chute and help feed it out.
Cool.
Yeah. So let me grab a rod here, see if this works.
This is always a fun part about finding experts that are able to sit here and take care of stuff like this and restore it and keep using it.
Yeah. Just got to make it work.
That's why I brought it to you.
Just need this rod to be a little bit longer. There we go. That should do it.
So a little bit about your background.
Started out as a parachute rigger in the Navy, active duty. I did that my entire career. First was in with the Naval Test Jumpers as a rigger. Never finished the program because the Naval Test Jumper shut down due to funding. And then I was moved over to the aviation side for a while, where I did life support and search and rescue and all the things on the other side of that fence. And then as time progressed, I screened to be a parachute rigger for the SEAL teams.
Oh, very cool.
I passed the screening. Went through jump school, special operations parachute rigger course, etc., and got into that program. And I finished up my career on that side of the house.
That's pretty wild.
So
rigging and jumping with the SEALs.
Yep, jumping with the SEALs, training with the SEALs.
Because you have to go through everything those guys go through, and you're sitting there rigging and jumping with them, right?
When it comes to the air side, yes. But the other stuff, there's kind of condensed courses that you go through to be able to deploy with them and things like that.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So you go through some condensed driving courses, shooting courses, swimming courses, stuff like that. But so we just want to get all this rubber off of here. If you see any, just pull it off. Yeah, good stuff. Here, let's flip it this way.
Open that the other way. Gotcha.
Nice. Hook that up right there. it's a good.
Lines look okay.
Yep.
Wow.
This is probably an old 24-foot canopy. Let's find the data panel here, and we'll see. See, you got a little bit of stains on there, probably from folks packing it on the ground back in the day, or just being packed up in the container for a long time.
How many panels would this chute have?
That's what we're going to check here. Could be anywhere from 26, 28, 30. You can find the data panel. There it is. So this is made by Irving Air Chute in April of '51 was the date of manufacture. So this canopy's pretty old. So we'll just check the number here that we have.
So this chute would have been jumped in Korea. Or would have been used during the Korean War.
Yes. And that's about the same time that this system was phased out of use. So it's a 24 gore canopy, probably around 30 feet. I'm going to move this down a little bit so I can get some tension on there.
Gotcha. Yeah, seeing those rubber bands in there with on that was pretty nice.
Yeah. And they just disintegrated in my hands, you know, so they're pretty old.
Yeah, because the modern MERPs today, they're spring loaded, so
Right.
so you'd have to sit there and deploy this out, pull out the drogue chute, pull out the pilot, and throw it out by hand.
Yep. Yeah, there we go. Get some tension on it. Yeah, there's lots of rubber bands stuck to the line, so everything's still good on it. It looks like to be in pretty decent shape, which is good.
Panels are all marked and numbered.
Yeah.
How long is rigging school for the military usually?
It's been a while since I've been there. I think they're running around 13 weeks now.
Okay.
Yeah. So those guys will come out, learn how to pack rounds. You know, that's the primary thing. They probably do a little bit of repairs in the course, maybe like a week long, basic fundamental stuff. They'll probably learn how to pack some aerial delivery stuff, mains, reserves. So, you know, everything's just week by week. They kind of build off each other, then some sort of practical. They probably do a jump or two while they're in the course.
So next step with examining this chute would be what?
Yeah, we're just going to look at the whole chute, gore by gore, panel by panel, and make sure that everything's good. You know, these are pocket bands. We're still using that technology today. It's funny to see that from 1951 to now.
So what would that do?
This helps with the deployment process. Helps get it out and open, so that the canopy can be inflated properly. This is silk. This is silk canopy. It's pretty wild. Haven't seen one of these in a hot minute.
Yeah, when I contacted veteran Chair Carolina Hernandez, I let her know I always wanted to sit there and see, could you still turn this into a modern day wedding dress? And she found a reserve like this, made the dress. I wrote the article for it, which is just really wild. And I showed that to you. Now it was just neat. Just seeing all of this silk material now, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. So we are going to start down here. I'm going to just keep walking back and forth, looking at the canopy. Seems to be in good shape. Looks like that's probably like a quality stamp right there in the middle. Maybe somebody was checking it, called it good back in 1951, and then they stamped it. Yeah, everything, stitching looks good. And there's no holes in it, so if it's been used, it's probably only been used once or twice as a reserve. This is wild. Just touching history like this.
Yeah, it's the cool part when I saw it in the shop. I was like, man, I've always wanted to have one, and I picked it up, and that's when I called and I talked to you and said, yeah, bring it on down. We'll sit here and unpack it and take a look at it. And having someone with your expertise go through it, just kind of walk me through it, is just wild.
Yeah, so I found some damage here.
Okay.
I don't know, it could be packing damage, it could be picking it up off the ground. It's after a use or something like that, but that's just a little bit of damage there.
Is that something that your company could repair?
We'd have to find this material.
Oh.
We could, yes, but we got to find this material to make it match. But I don't think you intend to jump this.
I don't intend to jump. No, what I actually intend to do is I wanted to walk through it and repack it so I could have my students in the classroom sit there and hold it, because I have a demo harness now, an SF10 that I do when I teach World War II. I put them in it, and I can hook this to it and let them feel kind of like the weight. So,
right,
which is always fun. Also neat that you're in DeLand, not too far from me in Jacksonville, so
yep,
fun to come down here and just, yeah, touching history is always fun when you see it behind the glass. And that's always like, that's kind of like my pet peeve with museums. It's like you want to touch it, you want to sit there and hold it. And now when you find stuff like this, you're able to and just really walk through it.
yeah. Yep, you got a bunch of stains there. Again, it's probably from
Being
packing it on the ground after use. You know, wasn't a lot of facilities in the early days. My assumption is this was probably used as a skydiving chest reserve, and if it was used, they would just repack it right on the ground when they landed, so they can make the next lift if they needed to use it.
Based on what you're seeing, like condition-wise, for as old as it is, what you know, other than the small holes that are there, you know, for how old it is, condition-wise, what do you think?
It's in great shape for being as old as it is. And again, who knows how many jumps are on it. You know, during the war, if it was ever used, and then eventually being turned into a civilian system or used for civilian jumps. Yeah, see, here's where that rubber bands.
Yeah.
Don't pull it out.
Oh.
Yeah. The old rubber bands, that's what it does. And that, seeing that there, that could be where some of the staining is from the rubber band, touching,
Oh, okay.
being so close to the rubber bands for so long. So we'll put new rubber bands in it, and then you can keep it packed for the next 50 years.
I know, right? On average, how often do you repack reserves? Or cycle-wise, how often do they have to get repacked?
These are on a 180-day repack cycle.
Okay.
That's standard
So you
SOP.
just can't just set it and forget a reserve. You just leave it there, and so you always constantly have to repack it and redo it, right?
Every 180 days. That's FAA set that standard long ago. The military kind of adopted it, so that's everybody does. That's for reserve systems.
Now the neat part was when I found the harness and the pack tray. When I got the pack tray, it was a World War II pack tray, but the parachute was manufactured in 1951. So the Army was still using their World War II pack trays, all the way through Korea, which is just neat to sit there and see that when you look at the information on the side of the pack tray. National Automotive Manufacturers. So they made the pack tray.
Good.
But I can't thank you enough for taking a look at this and just walking me through it.
Yeah, so no problem. Any questions on this before we
No, I just wanted.
Proceed on.
But so, is it the same? Would the packing procedure be the same for this as it would be for a MERPS, the
Yes.
current reserve now? Okay, that's what I
Yes.
was wondering if there was anything different because whether it's silk versus nylon.
So as the technology progressed from, you know, T3, T5, T7, T10, they used the same style, I'll quote, of pack tray for the reserves, and the packing procedure didn't change for all those because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, what are these?
These are packing weights. Once I get the canopy flaked, we'll get it laid out properly, put some weights on it, help hold it down before we do the rest of it.
All right, cool.
I need to put some more tension on there before I get started.
The lines look like they're in good shape.
Yeah, they are.
That's crazy for as old as this thing is. I thought they'd be frayed and all kinds of. So Parachute Labs, your company, so you guys currently do what?
Well, we make everything parachute related. So, free fall rigs, military free fall rigs, skydiving equipment, mains reserves, tandem systems. We make military specific rigs. We make bailout parachute systems for light aircraft, general aviation if they need them. We're currently in the R&D phase of aircraft mounted parachute systems. So whole airframe recovery.
Yeah, and you're currently
save the aircraft, kind of like there's a company out there called BRS that probably everybody knows quite well. Cirrus has a parachute system on their airplane that's patented to them, so they have their own design in their own aircraft.
And you just recently signed on with Peter Schmidt at Transcend Air to build the rig for their airframes.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
For one of their VTOL aircraft that they're currently working on, which is pretty cool.
That's really neat. It's really wild.
Yeah. So that's good stuff. And then we make a lot of hard goods, handles, pins, rip cords. We make these, you know, and all different variations of these for the industry. Yep.
Very cool.
We also have a lot of parachute rigging tools that we make in-house that we offer to the industry. Yeah, especially items like this. We call this the exterminator. It helps with closing, mains, reserves, however people need to make it easier to pack.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's all good stuff.
And so now you're just inspecting it?
I'm just doing a proper layout now. So we've already done the inspection. We found a couple pinholes there that could be from packing or picking up off the ground years ago.
Well, I can't thank you enough for signing on with the History on the Road project. That means a lot to me. It does. Having you and your company help support in this project and coming down, and our mission to tell them this story and tell them the history as we literally laid out here on a table. You know.
Yeah, I'm happy to help. We'll put this line separator in there.
How many lines does this reserve have?
It's a 24 gore canopy, so it'll have 24 lines.
Do the MERPs still have the same 24, or do they?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Been a long time since I've seen a silk canopy, so this packs.
I'd never opened it, so I had no idea what the material was. It could have been nylon. I was hoping it was silk, and I'm actually glad that it is. They rationed silk like crazy during the war.
Right?
Those airborne guys, they saved their reserves to bring them home so their girlfriends and fiancés could make wedding dresses out of them when they got home. That's what inspired me to sit there and write the article. And when Carolina made the dress, that was just wild. It was just absolutely beautiful.
I remember reading that and seeing that, and I was like, wow, that is amazing.
Because I wanted to know,
She did a phenomenal job on that.
Could it still be done today in modern times? Could you still sit there and what would it look like? How would it be? And I believe the dress she found when she found her reserve, I think it was nylon. I think it was. I had to go back and double check. But yeah, it was like she found the reserve, and I think it was a Korean War reserve that she had found, and just like this, she went out and did it. And there was a photo she had of her laid out with the whole thing laid out in the ground, and her sitting in the middle of it, which is neat.
That is neat. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, what was really wild was like it got put up. The Vintage Purse Museum in Chicago, they picked it up, and now it's sitting in a display up there with my article next to it, and because she donated it to them, and it's wild to sit there to know. Eventually, I'm going to get to Chicago and see it. Just seeing that data panel is wild. That's neat.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. Bit of history.
So in Normal Reserve, when you do repack, about how long, obviously it's taking longer because we're kind of walking through it, but how, to start to finish, how long would it take you to repack a modern reserve?
A modern reserve? So the modern T11R that's currently used by the military today, depending on the rigger, you're looking at anywhere from an hour to 2 hours.
Okay.
For full inspection and repack. Oh look, somebody did a repair at some point.
Oh, neat. Okay.
A couple of them.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yep.
They use ripstop nylon to cover it up. So interesting. Wow. All right, so we've got it down in proper layout now. I'm gonna give it a little more attention. Again, it keeps coming off, probably because the lines keep relaxing. And we'll just let it sit here for a little bit so it can flatten out, get some of the fresh air into it.
Again, I really appreciate this.
Yes, sir.
It's been sitting around. It's been sitting in my classroom with my students for a couple of years now, and just now seeing it full out open like this is really cool.
Yeah, now you can have some pictures that you can have with it, so you can show them what it looks like unpacked, or even edit this video to
Oh yeah,
give them a short classroom session on it so they can see it.
Yeah, Amelia Media, our media group, will sit there and go through that, and she'll do her video magic with it.
Good. That's exciting.
Check that out.
Yep, a couple other QA stamps there.
That's neat.
Yeah. Probably, they probably had quality inspection points during the manufacturing process, and they would just, whoever was inspecting put their stamp on the canopy to say whatever step they were inspecting was good to go. That could be anything from installing these pocket bands, putting on, sewing the skirt tape or the apex, installing the lines through the canopy. These are continuous lines, so they go up through the top and then back down.
That's cool.
So it could be any number of things. And we'll just do it like this.
So you always see the guys, you know, doing the reenactment jumps in Normandy. Obviously, they don't have giant tables like this when they're out there jumping. So what would be some of the techniques they would use for the reenactors when they do their jumps into Normandy every year?
That's a good question. I have not participated in those, but I would assume that if they're gonna do continuous lifts, either they're gonna use some modern stuff. They'll bring portable tables out,
Portable tables.
and repack on those, or they'll lay tarps or something down and repack on the ground.
Could you use a tree?
You could use a tree as an anchor point. Yes, absolutely. I've seen the Marines use a person as an anchor point. They'll put the rig on and they'll sit down, and the riggers will pack while
that's funny.
while a Marine is just sitting there with this pack tray on his back
That's
as,
funny.
as an anchor point. So
It's a very Marine-like thing to
very
do.
Marine-like, right?
Yep.
All right, so we're gonna leave it like this for a little bit,
Okay.
so that it's all in proper layout. And yeah, we're all set.
Sweet. How'd that go?